Hello everyone, here is Dr. Aisawi Asma from the University Center of Berica. As we all know, in academic research, structuring methodology is just as important as collecting and analyzing data. A well-organized research design ensuring that your study is systematic, robust, and aligned with your research objectives is the subject of our video. So today we will investigate how to develop the research design by using Saunders Research Onion Framework. And before getting into it, the question is, what is research design and what is research method? Research design is a plan to answer research questions, and then the research methodology is a strategy developed to implement that plan. This needs clear objectives, valid reasons for the choice of design, and special consideration to constraints and ethical issues. As you can see on the screen, one of the most helpful tools for organizing and visualizing the methodology is the Research Onion. It is to explain the stages through which a researcher passes for the development of the research design. The model developed by Saunders consists of multiple layers that are arranged in a way similar to the layers of an onion. And I'm going to provide an explanation of the layers of this model and then focus on what questions you need to ask yourself each time you peel off the onion. At the outermost layer of the research onion lies research philosophy. It is a set of principles relating to the nature of the reality from which the research is being carried out. According to Saunders, there are 5 research philosophies: positivism, realism, interpretivism, constructivism, and pragmatism. They all refer to the fundamental assumptions that researchers hold about the nature of knowledge and reality. Here are primarily used research philosophies among students, mainly in social studies: positivism, interpretivism, and pragmatism. For positivism, there is only one true reality about the aspect being studied, and it is based on the belief that reality is objective and can be observed and measured. Whereas for interpretivism, this philosophy suggests that reality is subjective and that understanding human behavior requires interpreting individuals' experiences, meanings, and contexts. There is no one true reality. According to pragmatism, the reality is complex and external. There are multiple realities. It focuses on practical outcomes. Researchers adopting this philosophy believe that the choice of research methods should be derived by the research question rather than strictly adhering to any specific paradigm. Now, the second ring in the research onion contains the research approach, referring to the broader process or plan that comprehensively discusses the methods of data collection, data analysis, and data interpretation. In a typical research methodology, inductive and deductive approaches are most commonly used. But consider if we think critically on what researchers do in research, we can classify them into 3 aspects: theory testing, theory building, and theory modification. The point I'm trying to make here is that the research we undertake involves the use of theory, which we may or may not name in our research. And accordingly, there are 3 approaches to theory development. A deductive approach is often referred to as a top-down approach. It begins with a theory or hypothesis, followed by data collection to test the hypothesis. whereas the inductive approach is a bottom-up process where data is collected first, and theories or hypotheses are developed from the patterns observed in the data. The abductive reasoning as well involves starting with a set of observations and working backward to the most likely predictions and explanations. This approach is hybrid and often used in exploratory research where researchers do not have a fixed hypothesis. The next layer of the research onion relates to research strategies. It prompts you with the question, what strategy will best enable you to meet your research objectives? It describes how you aim to carry out the work, and there are several research strategies shown on the model ranging from experimental, survey, archival, case study, ethnography, action research, and grounded theory. Through the following stage, you ask the question, what forms of data best answer your research questions? It involves the selection and use of a quantitative and or qualitative techniques, such as using perhaps in-depth interviews. So for the mono method, a single data collection technique is utilized. And for the mixed method, both qualitative and quantitative data collection techniques are utilized. An alternative methodological choice can be a multi-method, such as using observation and also using in-depth interviews. But the crucial thing, though, is that your methodological choice should fit your research philosophy and your approach to theory development, meaning should fit the choices in the previously stated layers. Before we reach the center is time horizon, the time in which you have to undertake your research. And here we have two distinct time scales, longitudinal or successive independent samples, and cross-sectional as a snapshot study. It means a phenomenon or a cross-section of the population is studied for one time. As we can see, there is a cross-sectional research in which we collect data from different sources at the same time, and we collect data from the same sources over a period of time for longitudinal researches. In working through the final layer, you need to bear in mind all the choices you made and think within the boundaries set by these choices. Think of how will you get access to your data. Data collection methods might include, depending on the research strategy, might include surveys, interviews, experiments, or observations. And for data analysis techniques also are chosen based on the nature of the data. Qualitative data is often analyzed using statistical tools, while qualitative data is analyzed using thematic analysis or coding techniques. As we have discussed in the first section, the selection of a particular philosophy will determine the approach you choose, and further, the approach you select will influence the choice of research design and methods. So let's take some examples. Here we have positivism. Positivist researchers believe that society shapes the individuals. They use deductive reasoning aiming at testing an existing theory. The choice of methods is quantitative because the nature of data is numerical. Here we have experimental strategy, and for the data collection tools, it might be Likert scale, structured interviews, and so on. For the data analysis techniques, also it might be descriptive or correlational.